In this video, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of where you could make AI agents or the different types of interfaces they could exist on. What the average AI user understands is that you could go to a website like ChatGPT or Claude and just prompt back and forth with some sort of chat engine to get the results you're looking for, whether that is to answer certain questions or to create certain deliverables. It doesn't matter. But this is the habit we're trying to break in helping you understand how AI or AI agents can fit into real workflows you have and interact with you in different ways. What this looks like in practicality is that the AI lives wherever you already work. If you happen to work out of your email inbox or in some sort of dashboard, it could literally live within those platforms with you. It should also have one specific job. If it's helping you run certain marketing sequences, for instance, that will be distinguished from other AI agents, which might have sales jobs or operations jobs within your entire company. Then finally, it should be drafting or acting without a new tab on your computer or without you directly having to prompt it even. These are some examples of where agents can live. These are 5 places that I've actually made agents in the past, outside of a couple that I'm not including in this list. But for the sake of this video, here's the 5 categories we're going to go through. The first being you could email directly with your agents, or you could message them either in a Slack channel or Telegram. Finally, you can message them directly through a HTML dashboard that lives either on the web or directly on your computer. And then finally, you could create website widgets if you already have some sort of software in place that you live out of. It's going to make more sense once we dive into each of these individually. Example number 1 of this is an agent in your email inbox. This is an example of what it looks like. Obviously, this is all made up. I am not Jamie Carter, nor am I messaging anyone named this. But this is what an agent interaction could look like in something like Gmail, where you send a couple of ideas over email to your agent, and they reply to you with a specific job. So for this example, the ops agent that lives in Jamie's inbox does things such as pulling numbers from a couple of PDFs and making graphics of it. This is likely the ops agent's main role in their team. Hence, whenever Jamie messages them over email, it could do this automation or this sequence over and over again at a very high level. Jamie specifically trained this op agent to be able to do this in the exact way that someone, a real person, would do in the past, where if you outline this process manually or you have a real human do it in real life, then you can hand it off to AI to do it at the same level. The second example is making an agent team in a platform such as Slack. I've done this for the past for my own business, and this is an example of what it could look like. In the case of Jamie again, you have a couple of AI bots that live directly within the Slack dashboard for you, each with very specific jobs or tasks on its hands. So obviously you have a draft bot, you have a scout, outreach assistant, and then Jamie can interact with all 3 of these in different channels. So for instance, the draft bot knows that when something is sent in the social media drafts channel, it needs to hop on it and do certain tasks. Likewise, the outreach assistant also needs to do certain things and then sends a message in the approvals channel. Things like that can all completely happen using AI agents. And it's almost like you're the manager of these real life, it could be humans, could be agents within the Slack dashboard. Theoretically, the best way to set something up like this is to map out your current company structure with you as the manager and other pieces of your business below you. If those pieces of your business are separated into something like marketing, sales, operations, I would make sure to have a bot or an AI agent covering each of those specific tasks, trained on those tasks or functions of your business. A third and moderately easier method you could build is designing an agent that lives directly in some sort of messaging app, such as WhatsApp or Telegram. So this is an example of a field assistant that messages you directly in Telegram. Again, this is all made up, but the user sent a couple of messages, sent a couple of photos, sent a voice message, sent the job is done at this certain location. This is obviously an example of a home service business of some kind. Then this field assistant bot was trained to create estimates or pricing based on everything that they've accomplished. So just based on the voice message, just based on the photos that was sent, it automatically calculated this pricing for the user so they don't have to do this manually every single time. This is something that likely happens on every single job of this person's company. So it really helps them to be able to instantly message a bot to draft something up like this. And again, it drafted even a follow-up message for them to send by email or text to the customer. Option number 4 here is the dashboard. Obviously, if you've been working with AI for a while, you've probably seen a dashboard like this, or you've built one yourself. Whenever you're building with Claude, oftentimes the first draft of a dashboard looks very much like this. If you ever see fonts or dashboard layouts that look like this, it's very much a copy and pasted draft from something like Claude. But something like this can be extremely useful for your company. So for the instance of Jamie, this is tracking all the leads gained overnight, the drafts waiting for approval, follow-up sent, so on and so forth, each being ran by individual agents in this sort of dashboard. So in something like this, Jamie can monitor the agent's status, but also potentially approve drafts that are waiting for approval, or understanding today's priorities based on what the agents accomplished. And then even more so, can continue to message back and forth with the agents to make sure that they're on track and to manage them properly. So this could either tie into one of the previous examples we've already had, or it could be an entire way to interact with agents altogether. And finally, we have the website widget example. So obviously this more so pertains to customers that are facing your company's website or entering an application that you guys built. You could build something like an agent widget to talk back and forth, answer FAQs, sales questions, things like that. This is what it could potentially look like for you. This is an example of a home services business, very blank website. Obviously, again, this is not real. It happens to be in my area, but again, not real. User comes onto the website, is looking for answers, and maybe has some specific questions. Oh, that's cool. There's a website widget that pops up in the bottom right of your corner asking, do you have any questions? Yes, we actually ask, what's the rough cost to replace something like this? And since a website widget like this is trained on previous examples from your website or whatever information you previously passed it in relation to standard operating procedures, things like that, then it could answer questions on your behalf. With that said, obviously, there might be some limitations into the information it knows or it has within its system. And in that case, I always encourage people to build backup cases where if the AI doesn't know the answer, it should give you the information to someone who might know the answer. So for me, I have a widget on my website. If my widget cannot answer the customer's question, then it says reach out to Ryan for more details, something like that. Now you're probably wondering, how can I even build something like this? All of this is super overwhelming and helpful, yet I don't know how this could potentially fit in for me, or if I even have the time to build this. What am I going to build this for? Things like that. And I always encourage people to follow my proven framework, which I call the DASA framework. It stands for Diagnose, Articulate, Systemize, and then finally you deploy the AI to build something like this. So for the instance of the home service company, they diagnosed the problem that they had that they want to solve with this AI. So for instance, people come to their website and they're not getting answers to the questions that they need, so they probably log off. The website widget example that we just went through, we're diagnosing the problem as people leaving the site. Then you move to the articulate step. Well, what can a potential solution look like for my business? We could write this out, or the AI's job out. This is, your role is to answer questions from any sort of customers that come to our website. Simple as that. Then the systemize step, we want to make sure that we're plugging it into a proven system that already works. I always like to say automating chaos is scaling chaos. So if you're not giving it, for instance, a proven system to play from, or you're not giving the answers to the questions that people have already asked, or you're not working with your sales team to understand what people are typically asking, then you're probably not setting the AI up to be successful. Whereas you want to make sure that you're gathering all these materials or all these details about your company, SOPs, things like that up front. So when you finally go to a platform like Claude to say, hey, build this out for me, or you go to ChatGPT or Gemini, or you plug in your favorite AI tool, it doesn't matter. It has all of the context necessary to be successful in building something like this. And if you follow this framework, more often than not, you don't have to go back and revert it, or you don't throw it away because you know that it is solving a real plot problem. You understand that the proposed solution will fit into your business, and you have a system to follow through with it. So if you stuck around until the end of this video, I challenge you to just pick one of these, try to build it, and let's see if it could hold you accountable to solving your major problems in your business. Start by figuring out which problem you're looking to solve, and then find a potential solution like these or many other ones that might exist out there to follow through with the build. Start interacting with an AI to build this. I usually use Claude Code to build tools like this. It doesn't matter. I just encourage you to jump in and solve real problems within your business. Myself, as well as many other creators on YouTube, are here to help. You can schedule a free call with me. I'm going to include a link in description to get started with something like this. And additionally, I'm always sharing tips in my newsletter as well as on all my social media platforms. So make sure to follow along if you're looking to learn more.